instead of working so hard in the work environment, how short moments might uh, help with that, reducing the effort and getting more clarifying thinking and that type of thing.
Um, yeah, that I love how you added that second part about the effort, because in my experience, it's not about how much I work, but how much effort I feel I need to put into it. And
Mhm.
effort also not in terms of dedication or motivation, but effort as in, that.
Yep.
And you probably have already, like, let me know if that's true, but I would think you've probably experienced times already where you were fully motivated and dedicated and you could, like, maybe even easefully or, in the direction of easefully flow along and get a lot done, but it doesn't come with that package of tension and worry and constant striving and struggle. And to me, to discover a way of work that has these kinds of characteristics that isn't driven by this tension, basically, of, that I'm never doing enough, that I'm not accomplishing enough, which, that these storylines, like coming from the family I come from, I assume it will resume its thing for a long time. I chose wisely when I when I picked my parents and family. I have a lot of practice with that kind of data set where, I could compare myself endlessly to people who are so accomplished and on a worldly level are like crazy. It's amazing how much people can get done.
Uh-huh.
And so instead of getting into that like mind space, you could say, of needing to compete and to accomplish in order to then arrive at, say, a sense of worth or value or whatever that is that we're ultimately thinking we'll find at the end of all of this, to access that and let all the doing come from that. It changes everything. And you will have, or you probably already noticed that, but so it's present tense or future tense. But I notice that I can work a lot longer. There's a lot more like energy that isn't burned off by just even holding the body in tension all the time, having my shoulders on my ears, and just like being at ease and getting things done. And then naturally with that, I love the image that we sometimes have in the slides of like a woman sitting on a mountaintop and looking at this like vast like valley. That's a bit like in a short moment when everything relaxes, we can see much more clearly. And instead of just running our heads against the wall, so to speak, we're like immediately on the top of the mountain and in a short moment and can just see much more clearly. And of course, I've done this many, many times by now. So for me, when I say immediately, it is my experience today that if I do ever find myself being, I don't know, in some kind of like valley where all I see is, oh God, my inbox. Why is everybody writing me on the same day? To then immediately notice like that kind of sense in my body, that energy is an immediate reminder, rest. That's the most important thing for me to do right now is to rest. It's not to answer the first email so that I can be done by noon before I start this other thing. The first important step is to rest. And that's why in Empowerment One, we come to this recognition that data are unmanageable. It's impossible to successfully manage data. And the specific data package that high achievers have around work is we basically think there is a there, and we constantly work towards the there. But it's never there, as we know. It's a forever receding horizon, the carrot on the stick that just makes us run until we collapse in exhaustion. So to just retrain myself for this moment of rest as being the most appropriate and most empowering, most clarifying response has shifted my relationship to work.